What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out F-47 fighter jet will be generational leap of capability, retired Air Force general. This is by News Nation. I will leave a link down below to the original video. It's about 5 minutes long, this video. It is a news video, so we're going to break it up. We're going to talk in between it, and we're going to see what's going on with this new $20 billion contract that Boeing's got for this new F-47, which is quite remarkable, isn't it? But we'll get into it. I will leave a link down below if you want to go check it out, and we'll go from there. But before we get started, as you can see, 14,360, which means we're officially £640 away from this Kickstarter being successful, which is insane. I'm going to be going live Tuesday, tomorrow night, and we're gonna have some fun. Let's get it over the line. Let's get it over the line. Let's get it done. This is super important to me and many other people. It is a healthy, energizing drink. We're going to use the profits to get people outside. I know for a fact there is a lot of people who watch this channel who are military. And the Venn diagram of people who love the outdoors and the military is basically just a circle. So I know this will align with your ethos if you're watching this. So check out the Kickstarter link in the description down below. Also check out Chug if you want to get yourself an absolutely legendary drinking vessel and look like an absolute badass while drinking your drink. Other than that, let's pull this up. Let's have a good old chat about it and let's see what the hell is going on, shall we? Christ.
Oh, did you see that? Old school music, new age technology, though. Just part of the announcement today of the military's new fighter jet.
Surely that is not like a concept of it, right? Is it?
Pentagon awarding Boeing a $20 billion contract to manufacture and engineer the world's first sixth-generation fighter jet. It will be known as the F-47.
The F-47. I think that is a name that is going to be around now for a long time. It's going to be in news articles for a long time. The F-47. We should get used to talking about it now, shouldn't we? The F-47. I'm excited.
It's a technology that's new, but it doesn't fly by itself. It flies with many drones, as many as we want, and that's something that no other plane can do.
So this is talking about
the 47th.
This is talking about, is it NGAD, I think it's called, where these new aircraft are basically going to have like mini aircraft around them, and they're going to work in some sort of swarm hive mind where information will be getting spread between them incredibly quickly. The information will also transfer to other military units, whether that be ships or vehicles or even individuals on the floor, on the ground. And so this new idea of these swarms of drones following these new fighter jets is actually something we've talked about on this channel before. I think it's called NGAD, N-G-A-D. I think I might be wrong there. But this isn't something new. Well, it's new, but it's not something that's a surprise for us right here, is it?
President. It will replace Lockheed Martin's F-22 Raptor jet, which entered service nearly 20 years ago. The Air Force says it will cost less, be more technologically advanced. It's also viewed as essential to keep up with China.
I think it's replacing the F-22, which means this is going to take a long time. I think we're looking at 5 years before we see one of these or concepts of one of these. I think it's going to be a while. This is not some... someone's building something outside the office or something. I just heard a drill or something. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. This is going to be years in the making if it's replacing the F-22. I don't think the F-22 is going anywhere for at least another 5 to 10 years, personally.
Joining me now is the retired Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert, who flew in 38 different aircraft, including that F-22 I just mentioned. John, Brigadier General, thanks for being with us tonight here on the Hill. Appreciate it. So this thing is $300 million a piece. It looks like we're probably going to get it in the next handful of years or so. Technology.
It says handful. I think it's going to be about 5 years before we see this, but 200 a piece compared to the F-22, which let me just refresh my mind on how much the F-22 cost to make. So 200 a pop for the new F-47. Oh, that's the goal, right? I'm presuming the goal for the F-22 was somewhere in that ballpark. Why am I not getting an answer here? I want to know. I think it was closer to 400 a pop, wasn't it? Yeah, 369.5 million. So you're looking at nearly half. Now, that's if they reach the goal of... I don't think they'll reach the goal of 200,000. I think it'll be probably slightly more than that. But the F-47, is this going to be the new big thing? Is this going to be sold to other countries? Is this going to be part of the British military? This is a big development, guys.
Always advances, right? What's so good about
and
this?
The promise of this F-47 is that it will be a generational leap of capability, even ahead of that amazing F-22 Raptor.
How? Tell me how.
And that includes more lethality, more speed, more range, additional weapons, and we're looking forward to seeing this with a fleet of aircraft the president promised to be delivered before the end of his term.
Do we have a sense, though, of what it...
Delivered before the end of his term? So within 4 years? You reckon? Oh, I don't know. You think we'll get an F-47 before 2028? Let me know in the comments. I legit want to know in the comments, right? Let's do it I wonder if we can do a poll or something. Just let me know in the comments. Do you think we'll get this before 2028? I don't think we will. I think we might get imagery. I think maybe it'll go into development. We won't see this in the sky until 2030. That's my bet.
What it could do versus what we can't do now?
I think it's really a leap of all of the good attributes of something like an F-22 in a more demanding and challenging area. You look at the Western Pacific and the area around Taiwan as an example, an extremely dense set of threats that now we need a leap of technology to be able to overcome. And the promise is that the F-47 will give us that in the next 3 or 4 years.
So is this just a direct response to China? I guess one way to look at it is, we need to keep up our technology. The other...
It's not that America needs to keep up. It's that he always wants to keep that gap between between Chinese and Russian technology and American. Right now, there is a significant gap. There is not an aircraft that China or Russia has that can compete with the F-22 or the F-35. We know that, right? Yes, there's people who are like, they've got the 5th gen, it's really good, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's be honest. Let's talk sense here. There isn't. There is a gap in technology between the two. And what America wants is to sustain that gap, to keep that gap there. If they can, increase it a little bit.
Another way you could look at it is, we need to keep up with China. What is it?
Blake, this is something that's been on the drawing board for about a decade. And in fact, the president revealed today that we've been flying a prototype of this aircraft for the last 5 years.
Whoa, what? They've been flying for how long?
That we've been flying a prototype of this aircraft for the last 5 years.
Whoa. Wow, this might be further in development than I thought then. They've been flying a prototype for the past 5 years? That's very interesting. That is more of a big news for me than anything else here.
That means that we are trying to stay well ahead of any potential threat, whether it's China or someone else. And we are looking at our requirements in order to have the lethality anywhere on the globe and air dominance that we need. And this is not following China. This is setting a pace that China can't keep up with.
I'm wondering, considering this has gone to Boeing, if there was some sort of contract competition between two different, maybe it's Lockheed Martin, Boeing, maybe it's any of the usual suspects that have UFOs, which we're not going to get into. But my presumption is there was some sort of contract competition between them. Maybe they drew up... we see this with all military technology. We see it. They throw it out to different companies and they're like, hey, we want to advance our technology. What can you do? And then with that, they come with concept designs. They come with prototypes. Maybe that's why they've been flying for the past 5 years. It's been prototypes that have been in competition with each other. This could have been going on behind the scenes for the past 5 years and we haven't even known about it.
As I look at it, it's kind of a wild image to look at. Is that actually what it's going to look like?
Nah.
Like, I don't know if we know. Obviously, we see that nose sticking
we'll see
out
what
of the
happens,
hangar.
right?
We're not sure. And the thing that the president promised about this aircraft is that it would be the F-47, which would be a manned part of this platform, but it would then be incorporated into a family of systems of CCAs, or collaborative combat aircraft, which are autonomous drones that would be its wingmen.
Yeah, we like I said, we've talked about this. We've done a video on this. This has been a concept. In fact, that should have been a massive green flag to show that they've already been working on this for a few years now. I still don't think we're going to get it in Trump's term. I don't. But with that being said, if they've already been flying a prototype for 5 years, they might be way further ahead than I thought. But then you got to look at the technology and think, do they have the capacity to have this drone-style technology with the comms, with the technology, all to be able to be done within the past 5 years? That's a big question.
That would add to the lethality of the single-man platform that you may or may not see peeking out of a hangar there in those pictures.
So you bring up how it's manned, meaning that there's going to be a pilot or pilots in it. Elon Musk, and let's show the post real quick. Elon Musk has been saying recently, you know what? In this age of drones, crewed fighter jets, he says, are an inefficient way to extend the range of missiles or drop bombs.
I've said this. I've said this where, and I'll do the analogy again. And some people won't agree with me because I think there is always a element of creativity a human can do within an aircraft, within anything, that can't be done by technology. There's this element, the humans are creative. We think outside the box. We might not be able to think as quickly as computers, but we definitely have this sense of intuition and creativity that computers don't have. And so there is always this idea that having a manned aircraft will always be that little bit more effective than a drone, right? With that being said, CD players and MP4 players, right? This massive leap between something that needed a disc and something that was completely digital. In between there, we had these mini disc players. We had all these different technology, which people tried, but ultimately we needed that big jump. Part of me feels like there is this big jump that needs to happen between manned and unmanned aircraft. I think there'll be iterations in the middle. Maybe this manned aircraft with drones flying around it might be a good middle ground. Maybe this is what surpasses the just singly unmanned aircraft. I don't know. I do think there's some sort of technological leap. I think Elon is the type of person. He is a technological kind of fanatic that wants big leaps in technology, right? And to some extent, he's pulled it off with his tech that he's built. But I don't know. Part of me thinks we need that leap. The other part of me thinks that we need the creativity and intuition of what a human can do in an aircraft.
Usable drone can do so without all the overhead of a human pilot. And then he went on to say, meanwhile, some idiots are still building manned fighter jets like the F-35. I heard Pete Hegseth say today, Brigadier General, that this is a gift for our kids, a gift for our grandkids. Who's right here, Hegseth or Musk?
Blake, I appreciate that Elon Musk is pitching into our national defense here, but the combination of the manned aircraft that is like the quarterback of the team that incorporates these unmanned aircraft gets the best of both worlds.
So he's not wrong there. He's not wrong. This might be the good middle ground. Having that intuition, creativity, and thought process of a human whilst also kind of having the technological advancements around him, not only for maybe attacking, but defending as well. Like if a missile's coming towards an F-47 and he can be like, waste the drone, put a drone in front of that missile so I don't get killed. Like that is kind of a happy medium, isn't it? Although you don't want that to happen, I'm sure, and there might be other ways to combat that from happening. Is that something that can be done?
We need both, is basically right. Is basically what you're saying.
Hegseth absolutely is right here as we balance the benefits of manned and unmanned in this teaming that is centered around an F-47.
Would you want to fly the thing? You've flown 30
Put me in, Coach. I used to fly F-22s. I used to command Edwards Air Force Base, which is where they're going to test this thing. Give me a flight suit, and I'll take on anyone in the world.
Man, I would love to do it.
I love that guy's energy.
Imagine. Brigadier General retired John Tykert, thanks for being with us tonight. Fascinating to hear your perspective.
That was an incredible conversation between the two. There's actually quite a lot of videos on this new F-47. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Interesting bit of kit. It's got this drone thing that we're already kind of aware of. We've done videos on it in the past, but now it's almost as if it's becoming mainstream news now. We watch very, you know, military content. We're in this zeitgeist of information that not many people are in. But if it's coming to the regular mainstream now, it's becoming common knowledge. And so we're going to start seeing more of it. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Unmanned, manned, best of both worlds. Let me know what you think. Check out Morale. Be one of the people. Come on. Be one of the people that gets this over the line. Let's get it over the line. I love you all. Oh, check out Chug as well. Please check out Chug. They're amazing. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.